Starting a new venture can be a daunting thing indeed. I'm joined now by someone who in 1998 walked away from a successful career to start something for themselves from your garage. It's the CEO of Dotsquares, Bankim Chandra. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for inviting me over.
No problem at all, no problem. So Bankim, what I want to talk about first is that moment 20 years ago where, if you like, you walked away from, I guess, what was quite a corporate career and decided, now I'm going to do something for myself, now I'm going to start my own business. What was that like, and how did you get started?
Because I was sitting in a very comfortable seat. I was in a very comfortable position. My family was growing. You know, I've got 3 daughters now. So, and it was a very difficult decision to leave on a good job. I was working at American Express in Brighton, which pays you every month, you know, a salary, your comfortable life. But of course, in business, every day, every week is so important. You know, you're looking at every day, you're tracking your progress, you're forecasting. So not easy. I didn't know that much about it at that time when I made the decision. But of course, you talk to your mentors, you talk to your family, and then try to make those kind of decisions, whether it's right or wrong. Well, I think it's risk-taking at the end of the day, Oliver, and that's what I did it, and that's what I took the risk. I won't say it has fully paid off because I've got a lot more goals and aspirations.
Right, okay, interesting.
So I would say I'm still working on it.
Okay, I had a story, tell me if this is wrong, but I heard a story, you put a suit on, you put a tie on, you go to American Express, and then when you left, you had almost like a personal mantra of putting on the suit, putting on the tie, and going out to your garage. Is that true?
It was very cold.
Yeah.
I didn't have that much money to put the heating on.
You just had one suit and that was
it. Discipline.
So that's where that came from.
When you're self-employed, I believe self-discipline is very much needed. That motivation, that determination. And you know, even if you're in a home, you could be in a pair of shorts, right? But then you will relax. But if you're wearing a suit, you're wearing a tie, you know that your focus is at work. And for me, that did the job, right? For example, when I was studying in India, it used to be very hot. I would never put the fan on or the AC on. I don't think our family could afford AC at that time, because that would make me comfortable and I will go to sleep and won't do my assignments.
Right.
So that's the same theory I believe I applied in my garage office, walking from the back door into the garage, as you know, in England, how cold it is.
Yes.
And then, but I didn't have that much money to put the heating on, and to keep myself intact, disciplined, and focus on phone calls, emails, etc., to grow the business.
Okay. So it started off just you, is that right?
Or started this family business.
So you had maybe 5 people?
Yes, 5 programmers.
People. And now you're more than 700 people. Is this right? You call them family members. More than 700 family members.
I classify all our employees and staff members as family, because at the end of the day, it's as a CEO, it's my responsibility to make sure everyone gets paid at the end of the month. It's a big responsible job, and you want to make sure you're getting enough revenue, cash flow within the business to pay everyone at the end of the month, because their families are relying on the business. So it's all together, and it's teamwork, especially in the service industry which we're into, or any business really, Oliver.
But particularly services, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So you grew the business to more than 700 people, 3 development centers in India, is that right?
We've got 3 development centers in Jaipur. One of our first ones started from our family home, which started from a garage, and then extensions. And now we've got other 2 offices, and we've got an academy in Rajasthan, in Jaipur. We've got 2 academies where we take on young people, train them, and if they have got the desire to work, recruit them as well. And we have got international offices in the US, Australia, and before Brexit, we opened in France. But our head office is here in Sussex, and we have got a sales office in London, in Canary Wharf. We're currently looking to expand more into London, looking for a new office in London as well.
And what was that period like? You go from 5 people to more than 700, I guess over 20 years, and there must have been periods where it was growing quicker, growing slower. How did you oversee such growth in number of employees, in revenue and turnover. How was that for you? Because lots of people will start a business and for many, many years remain relatively flat. For you, that wasn't the case. You really saw this big growth.
No, it was slow.
Did it surprise you? So it was slow.
It was very slow. Mm-hmm. It was very slow to start with. Even though, we got into the market quite early on. Mm-hmm. When I was at Amex, I identified the gap where IT projects would spirally go up and there was no control with the business owners. Mm-hmm. So identifying that market gap and providing cost effectiveness with high quality. And it was frustrating that you can provide a great service but still not getting clients, right? Mm-hmm. Because you need clients. And I used to go for breakfast meetings, you wake up at 5 in the morning, and then you go for those early morning meetings, and a lot of carrots are thrown at you. Well, and you go for evening meetings, lunchtime meetings, try to get business. I remember working for a 500-pound website for many years, right? Carrot, but what can you do? You need business. So I won't call it was an easy journey. It was very slow. I would say first 5-6 years were slow. And then you start doing more marketing, and the credibility when you start working on different projects, the name goes around. Yeah. And then, as I always say to any business owner, if you do good work, more work will come towards you. That's simple.
And if you're still around after 5 years, that says an awful lot about your business as well. People, I think, see your credibility then is that you've kind of survived that first kind of 5-year period, and you're there for a reason. So when it did start to take off, was that in relation to, because we saw a big shift in kind of professional services in the UK. Yes. A lot of work goes to India and to China. Yeah. And I guess you've seen that whole period from start to finish. You got in early, you saw the opportunity. How has it been seeing kind of that explosion, if you like, of the professional services engines in India getting spun up? Is that an opportunity which you think is still exploding? Are we plateauing? What do you think the future of that looks like? And that offshoring scene in the UK?
IT outsourcing from India has always been for many years, for 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. But for SMEs and startups, that's what we were targeting at that time, was absolutely new, was brand new. And it was giving that comfort level to those potential clients that yes, we can help you, we can save you money, and we can make your product or service successful. Giving that credibility and trust. So you have to do some free work sometime, provide samples, you have to do all those things in order to win that trust. And once you have got those, 20, 30 customers, then you start building your portfolio. Yeah. So you're absolutely right, it was tough. And I do remember those days, because shifting the mentality, right? Because of course now India, China, everyone is aware of it, right? The world is much more global. Whereas in those days, no, it wasn't global. Going to an estate agent, a local estate agent in Brighton, for example, and explaining them that we can help you, we can get your website done, for example, and at half of the price, and transparently how we're going to do it. I'm going to project manage it for you. So yes, I've seen the shift, and it was tough. It was tough. It was not really, but it was interesting because it was challenging. Yes. It was challenging my skills all the time, your core competencies, which I believe kept the passion alive, Oliver. I don't know, I think...
it keeps the fire burning, keeps you challenged.
I think you need that passion, right? If you don't have the passion, unfortunately, it's not all about money. It's all about personal satisfaction. I feel the personal satisfaction comes into picture first, even though we are thinking about the money. But once you have that satisfaction, money comes to you automatically. That's how I feel.
And after a certain amount of money, it's kind of just like keeping the score anyway, right? So it's kind of, what are you going to do next? How has your business been affected by technology? Because obviously you work in the IT space. We see a big explosion of digital-based companies. It's not easy, but it's quite quick now to set up something new, particularly a digital endeavor. You can test it very quickly. You can see if it's going to fail, or it might suddenly explode and become huge. How has that kind of affected your business or your customer base? Is that something that you've been able to ride the wave of, or is it just something that's fraught with risk and uncertainty?
I think you're absolutely right. Rapid development or agile development has changed a lot of things. But right from the start, we believed in iterative development. We never believed in giving a fixed quotation to a client. Even the clients will be shocked. You won't give me a fixed quote. We'd say no. We will give you an estimate.
And will they be suspicious of that? That's
of
a
course.
new approach.
Yeah, they will be suspicious, and we will say, sorry, that's how we work. We work on time and material basis, but we will do a good analysis based on the requirements you're providing us, and we will give you a breakdown of cost based on duration, right? You will see the progress. You can stop at any time. You want the piece of code, we'll give you that. It's all yours. But we are telling you, it's very difficult to gauge everything, to calculate everything at high level. So until we start working, until we start showing you things, it's not that easy. So you're absolutely right, that rapid development, especially with open source technologies, the world has changed a lot. But I would say in technological area which we are into now with artificial intelligence, AR, VR, we're doing a lot of work, but of course in order to do work, we need to get trained ourselves first. So that's where our back-end offices in India, we're always investing money into R&D, training, retraining, looking for those staff members who want to grow and bring them into the latest technologies. So I would say it's never comfortable, Oliver. You have to work on it all the time, unfortunately.
And that hasn't been a risk factor for you, because some of the topics that we've discussed with people today is this idea of very rapid business growth, particularly in the digital space. But actually also interestingly with a very product-led business where they experience very rapid growth. And we talked about the risks behind that. For you, have you found for your business that's been quite scalable, or has that ever rung alarm bells for you? Because it really feels like the pace of expansion of some of these companies and their requirements from an IT point of view has really kind of taken off.
See, I think I'll never call myself as a businessman. I'm not. I'm a technical person. But I call myself logical and organized. And I think those skills helped me when I was growing the business. So, and the support from family, from my wife, my brother, helped in recruiting the right people and having the right mentors. So as the business was growing, I had to recruit more people. So I was a sales agent, I was a project manager, I was accounts. So I had to leave those tasks and let someone else do it.
Of course,
But with the same passion, with the same 100% efficiency as you expect. No disrespect, you know, where we are at the moment, it is because of all the staff members. But of course, you expect them exactly like how you used to work, but it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
Never going to happen. But you make that small compromise. But I'm quite lucky to be working with the right people, surrounded with the right people in the head office, which I work with, and in different other offices around the world. Then I can just pick up the phone, talk to them straight away, and find out what's happening, for example. So the people and the team around you matters a lot. So for me, mentor, family, and that's where I suppose the people leadership comes into picture, that when you're solving a problem or when you get a problem, you put yourself in their shoe and try to solve an issue. And that's where I feel when that growth was happening, I had to recruit the right people, which will help. And touch wood, with our retainment is quite high as compared to other companies all over the world.
I mean, you have no choice, do you? As you grow, you have to bring people on board.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you hear it time and again, it's finding good people is the most important thing. Maybe they're not going to do it exactly as your vision would be, but they do it slightly differently, and it's good enough. It's, okay. Can we talk a little bit now about what Dotsquares offers IT startups? If I'm a guy and I've got an idea and I've got a bit of money behind it, maybe some kind of digital venture, I know that I'm not going to be able to do all of that myself. Maybe I lack some of the technical skills. So traditionally, offshoring, I guess, has been seen as something that very large companies do. They offshore significant amounts of work out to development centres. But as a one-man band, what should I be thinking of kind of day one that could be the early opportunities that kind of something like Dotsquares would offer me?
We work with a lot of startups, SMEs and corporates. With startups and SMEs, we try to put themselves in the same shoe as we were, 16 years back.
So you think back to the start.
And then try to provide as much no obligation support as possible to start with. And when they're comfortable, then kick off the project. Then we say, okay, now we're going to charge you this, and give them a breakdown. So there are nice tools these days where we can show them prototypes, screen designs, how their web idea is going to look like, how their mobile app is going to look like. As much as possible we can do it. And then if they have got funding, which is great, and then we've got different models how we work, Oliver. So a technical person can work directly with one of our developers directly. So non-technical, semi-technical or business person would like a project manager. They could have a project manager from our India office or from our UK office. And these models are very unique, how we work. And then at the end of the day, when the project is finished, our support model is quite unique. We call it bucket system. So it's not like a monthly retainer, which many companies do. For example, a project costs £10,000, and then they start charging them £1,000 a month. So again, you have paid the same project price in 10 months, which I feel is very unfair. So we have got bucket system where clients can buy hours, and they get only charged for those hours for what they're paying, like mobile minutes. So I don't think anyone in the industry does it. I should really get the rights on that word, bucket. So in terms of services, what we do, from web services, web apps, mobile apps, game development, CRM systems, as CRM systems like Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, etc. have grown, we do a lot of customization work around them. So I would say our core strength has been always in the bespoke, customized development as per the needs of the clients. And of course, as the industry grew, for example, 7 years back, 8 years back, when mobile apps started coming in, we started working in apps, open source. And again, apps, we do it in different ways, hybrid, native. We do a lot of projects with Oculus, with a lot of
virtual reality.
Virtual reality.
Yeah.
So a couple of years back, I can't tell the name because of confidentiality, someone came to our stand over here at Business Show, exchanged cards with me, and next day I received an email from a big car company, and they wanted to gamify their internal processes, how to make it more efficient, to involving, engaging the staff members as a game. So business efficiency, gamification, that's where I feel the industry is going a lot.
You say that's where you feel the industry is going. If you had to commit to a vision of the IT service sector over the next 5 to 10 years, what would that look like? Without giving away any
I
secrets.
wish I knew the answer, Oliver. But I feel the name of the game is, you do your research, you do your analysis, and based on that, grow yourself, in that sector. Train yourself, get yourself prepared, start talking to your customers, see how we can help them in using those technologies and taking them further ahead. Because if we can get them ideas, if we can take them to that next step, of course their business will, improve. It will take them to the next level. In turn, selfishly, it will help us. Simple. So.
Okay, great, thank you. Let's move on to a slightly different subject, because obviously you say your head office is in the UK, so you're based in Brighton and Hove. So there's going to be some impact, I guess, around Brexit and the recent changes in the UK. If you had to describe Brexit, because I think what a lot of people find is it's quite a complex topic and it's difficult to discuss because it's very close to people's hearts. But if you had to describe it in maybe one word, what word would that be? And then why did you use that word? And then following on, how do you think it's going to impact Dotsquares? And are you having to make changes to incorporate it?
I think in business terms, if I have to describe Brexit in one word, I would say unpopular. Unpopular, not popular.
Interesting, yeah.
Because I've been to various trade missions, Oliver, to New York, to Dubai, to Brazil, with UKTI, with the old name UKTI, which is the trade for international businesses. And we used to go as a group of 15-20 businesses from the UK, exporting our services or products from UK to abroad. And at the time, going from UK was a big USP. But nowadays, when I'm talking to people, a British company, unfortunately, is no more that much advantageous as how it was before Brexit. So basically, at the moment, of course, it's very unstable, right? People don't know what's going to happen. But of course, as you read articles, you can already see the food prices went up because most of the food comes from Europe, right? We as a country, unfortunately, we don't manufacture that many things. We are reliant on lots of European countries, and unfortunately, at the moment, we are not that popular.
And you think that comes from the uncertainty that surrounds it, essentially? Until that's nailed down and people understand exactly what it looks like, business feels to me like it's the area that's going to get hit the most, really, because of the uncertainty.
Absolutely, business is, I think, the most impacted area in various business shapes or forms, to SMEs, to corporates, and big companies making decisions. Where should there be next office? Should it be London or should it be Paris? And then when they make their choice, what would be easier going forward in terms of recruiting people, in terms of various trade policies, because of course things are not clear at the moment.
If you had to, so switching to a completely different topic again, you obviously had to push through some fairly significant milestones in building your business and growing it. If you had to say the kind of things that have inspired you to do that, and if you have any advice or tips for people who are growing businesses of pushing themselves to go the extra mile, right? So what inspired you to go the extra mile to get through those challenges, and any tips that other people could kind of learn from you?
I feel you learn a lot from your own clients, from your own customers. They teach you a lot. So you find those gaps through your own clients, help them with their business, how you can take them to the next level, and that in turn helps you. So that motivates yourself. Giving them success brings you success. And for example, in our case, cost efficiency, right? IT projects generally have got a bad image. After building work, the next industry which would be in bad will be IT.
Construction IT.
Construction and IT, you're right, because the projects always go over the budget. Things are not in control. All very nice. The perfect triangle of cost, timeline, and scope is all perfectly. It's like isosceles triangle. But as the project is like shaping in, like a rhombus.
It becomes like a hexagon or something.
So I feel keeping that, for us it was the cost efficiency and a high quality, providing that scope of work. And that what motivated us, that what inspired us to work on our projects and make them successful. And that's what we try to do it day-to-day basis. And to be completely honest, not everyone is happy. We try to make them happy. We try our best, but it's a service industry. We have to abide by our processes, by our policies, to whatever we can do.
Okay, so essentially focus on the quality.
Yes.
Yeah, relentlessly.
Definitely, in the service industry. Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. Now you're giving a keynote here, is that right?
Yes, I gave one in the afternoon.
Yes.
And one later on.
Okay.
So it's about the perfect blend for IT outsourcing.
Okay, is there any key messages you want to share? Because obviously we're recording this and we're going out live as well, so it's quite good if you've got any key messages from your keynote that you're willing to share.
Simple, 2080.
Okay, I've heard this
2080 golden rule works in every area. So in case of IT outsourcing, in my view, 2080. Keep it in-house 20%, outsource 80%. Outsource to those people who know what they're doing. You're an expert of your own business, keep that with yourself. If your IT needs can be fulfilled by a nice supplier who have got the knowledge, who have got the strengths, who have got the skill, they can help you. So keep business knowledge, project management, business analysis at your end, programming, designing, testing can be easily outsourced. So 2080 would be my simple advice.
I heard a new one today, which was 70-20-10.
Okay.
We won't go into the details, but I think people keep coming up with these numbers. It's always been 80-20, now it's getting refined.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. It was great to meet you. Is there any other messages you wanted to share?
Thank you, Oliver, for inviting me.
No problem.
I would say if anyone ever want to contact me, feel free to link me in. I'm more than happy. As in, I work as a business advisor with Young Enterprise at Brighton College.
Yeah.
And my current team has reached the regional finals, so we're going into Guildford next month. But I'm going to be in Brussels that day, so I can't be with my team. But as in, we need those young entrepreneurs in the country to grow. So whenever you've got an idea, you have got a passion, go for it.
Great. Excellent. That's a really great message to end on.
Yeah. So if anyone from the business show is listening, we are here today and tomorrow at stand 390, Dotsquares.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank
it was
you,
a pleasure
Oliver.
to meet you.
Likewise.